All right, YouTube, what's going on? This is Kelvin, and in continuing my series on understanding pawns in chess, I have a very simple concept for you guys, and it's basically how pawns capture. It's one of the most basic concepts in the game, and I've already covered how they initially move. I've covered a lot of other different types of concepts like en passant, and that is actually one of the other ways that they'll capture. It's a little special type of capture, which requires a little bit more explanation. So I'm actually putting the video that I shot of the actual en passant in action, and so you guys can check that video out in conjunction with this one, and it'll give you a complete and full understanding of how pawns can capture in chess. And so I just have this little random position set up, and it's kind of similar to like maybe how a position might look in the game. So we have a white pawn here on g2, and then we have a black pawn here on f4. And just at some point in the game, maybe this pawn made its way down there. Then this pawn is just still sitting on its starting square. King's over here just chilling. And so if it's black's turn to move in this position, they might just say, hey, I'm gonna leave my king alone. They might just go ahead and push the pawn up here, right? And so this is the point where the pawn can actually make some type of an attack. And the thing about pawns is they capture diagonally. If they're, so let's just move it just a little bit. Let's say the pawns are sitting like that. Let's say this black pawn pushed itself up against this pawn. These pawns are actually stuck. They can't move. They can't do anything. They're literally just staring at each other all day, right? And so backing up a little bit, if this pawn pushes forward, it's like saying, hey, I want to make a queen, right? Like I don't want to just be a pawn forever. The white pawn actually has the option to capture, diagonally, right? Cool. And so this at the same time, if we just move it over just a little bit, so it's a little easier to see. If the pawn is here and it does the same thing, it moves onto the diagonal square, the pawn can just go ahead and simply take it off like that. And so that's the most basic way that they capture, and that capture is not a set up this little position here. And so that capture is actually not restricted to just pawns. So a pawn has the ability to capture any piece that is a diagonal to it. Of course, except for the king, because the king can never go onto a square where it's being attacked, right? And so if we have this position here, like I said earlier, let's make sure I got it right. All right, cool. And so let's, the pawns are facing each other. They're stuck. They can't move. This pawn can't go that way. This pawn can't go this way, right? And so let's say, for example, we have like a knight right here, right? And the knight's like, hey, I want to jump that way. Like, that's my goal and dream in life, right? And so the knight says, bam, I'm gonna just pop right there. And so, like I said, the ability to capture is not restricted to only pawns. So now this pawn has the ability to capture that knight like that. And then at the same time, like I said before, either side doesn't matter. If it jumps on this side, it has the ability to as well, right? And so, that goes for any piece, so if you have a rook right here, the rook shows up right, right diagonal. The pawn can say, hey, I got you, right? And then the same thing here. If the rook just says, hey, I'm gonna pop right here, same difference. And just to complete the example, you have, a bishop shows up right here diagonal, and they're snapped off the board just the same as it does on this side. So like I said, guys, the pawn captures diagonally, and it can capture other pawns. It can also capture, knights, bishops, rooks, and even the queen. And like I said before, there is a special, a special kind of little, not a funny term, but just an interesting chess term, which is en passant, and that is another way that the pawn can capture. It's still basically using that same diagonal movement, but it's just a little different visually. And so, like I said, I have a whole other video that I'm going to be putting up in the right hand corner of the screen. It's going to be the little information card, and so if you go ahead and hit that, the video will show up. So that way, in conjunction with this video, you'll be able to get a complete and full understanding on how pawns can capture in the game of chess. All right, guys, so that's it for how pawns capture in chess. If you guys have any other videos or any of the chess concepts you'd like for me to explain, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and go ahead and let me know about that. And I appreciate you guys coming by. Go ahead and subscribe and like for me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate it.